Rikers Island is mad crowded. You can't social distance, it's impossible.
The infection rate on Rikers Island was like 10 times higher. As a city, we needed to take a look at reducing the jail population as safely and as swiftly as possible.
This pandemic is actually bringing freedom to some New York City inmates. Mayor de Blasio says 23 inmates who were considered a low risk to reoffend were actually released from Rikers Island and other facilities.
I had no one to help me. You dropped off at Port Authority, you got to fend for yourself.
If you do not have housing during COVID, then you are potentially infecting every single person who's walking past you.
We needed to very quickly act.
Well, this is my space, okay. This is my clothes. Got a little clothes. A secure place to come to, a place that's supportive, a place that's gonna help you.
As a society, as a tax-paying person, you have been investing for decades into a system that has only created more harm for your community. Housing is a human right!
Fight, fight, fight!
If you want to really make your community safe, then investing in people and providing them with the opportunities they need is actually the route to go in the long term.
And that's where the notion of the hotels came into play.
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Do you have COVID?
No, I don't.
Yeah, feeling all right? Any chills, anything like that?
No chills, anything like that. I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. This area, which probably at one time served as a lounge, has now been set up to be the transitional community service area. This was the quarantine room. It used to be the gym. And if they were found to have the symptoms, well, they would go up to their room and until the test results come back, they're quarantined.
Due to COVID-19, the infection rate was like 10 times higher on Rikers Island, and New York City needed to release as many people as possible to have less people in one place. And that's where the notion of the hotels came into play. This program has enabled us to work with correctional departments like the State Department of Correction and like the New York City Department of Correction to say, before someone is released, we are going to set them up with emergency housing so that they can immediately enter a room, take a shower, sleep in a bed, have a meal, and really just sort of settle before we begin the process of determining longer-term housing.
7-11%? Yes. Thank you. My name is Nathaniel Linden. I locked up in 2017, and I spent like almost 2 years in Rikers Island. COVID struck, and he let me go like a month early. He was calling me, telling me to pack up, I'm coming here. Well, this is my space, okay. This is my clothes. Got a little clothes. It looks like a lot, but it's not. It's just that this rack is small. The TV, they provide the TV. I don't have nothing else too much. Got my little thing I'm trying to get on there. I need someone to help me with Excel and WordPerfect, stuff like that. So I'm gotta brush up my skills. So I brought my little computer. My cousin helped me with that. Sometimes when I get to like down and things are not going the way I want it, I come in here and I shut the door, turn the TV on. I could just lay in the bed and I'm on my phone, but I got a place that's at least it's comfortable, it's clean, and it's mine for temporary. Even when things are not right, everything about, you can go shut your door, you can go concentrate on the things that's positive to get you out of it and lift you up, and to move on, to progress. It may not be a lot to a lot of people, but when you come from nothing, then this is like having a mansion. I felt like a normal person.
We put out a call to many of our partner organizations and said, here's what we need to do. We need to staff this up tomorrow. And Exodus was one of the organizations that said, yeah, we can. And they were there the next day.
If I was calling the HRA hotline for a week, trying to get this as a vice president, I can only imagine how frustrating it is for our residents and our participants to continuously call a number and not have anyone answer or not get any response back. Housing is a human right, and we're here to fight for that. So thank you very much.
Exodus Transitional Community is a preventative reentry and advocacy organization. We currently run 3 hotels. We have about 140 people who are released from upstate prison every year, and they come into Exodus to receive our cognitive behavioral intervention therapeutic programming, as well as our job readiness programming. So the goal is always to transition them out of the hotels into more permanent housing and provide them with the opportunities and skills needed so they don't recidivate. Right now, what we're spending for detaining and incarcerating people is over $300,000 a year. And that costs a lot more compared to our nonprofit organizations. In addition to spending that, the way that we're doing it, most of those people cycle back in and out multiple times. So I think investing more in alternatives to incarceration is really important because national average is like close to 70%, while our ATI programs have very little recidivism.
We have experienced pushback. There have been community members who have said, how did this happen? No one told us this was happening. No one asked us what we thought.
NIMBYism, not in my backyard, that's what NIMBY stands for, is everywhere in the city, unfortunately.
My age is 53. I got released 2011, went in 1986.
Let's actually write this out. I am 53 years old.
Homeless.
I'm experiencing difficulty finding
And that's discrimination in itself.
a landlord who will accept my voucher. Housing discrimination is real. I think we can say a good line there about that. And it's not just with jails, it's with homeless shelters, it's with mental health clinics. We experienced a lot of name calling, spitting on, I mean, all different things from the community.
They're not homeless people.
Yes, they are. They're homeless folks that reside here.
No, they
Okay.
were released out on early parole from Rikers Island.
They were gonna be released anyway, and so they were
No.
either gonna be released to the shelter or the system.
No.
Okay, you can contact your local officials because we
I
run the
spoke to
community
them.
advisory
No,
board, and
spoke
so
to
we've
them.
discussed that with
You're
them.
actually wrong.
Okay.
You do your homework,
Okay,
because you're really wrong.
okay, like I said, speak with your
You know
council
what?
members
You
and your
should go to
providers.
where those tables are, by Haagen-Dazs, 'cause they're all stone.
Okay, make sure you call your representative, honey, okay? Thank you. For 10 years, I spent cycling in and out of incarceration, addiction, and homelessness. I was on Rikers in 2010. I spent 4 months on Rikers in the Rose M. Singer Center. And I think what spurred me the most is so many women that were inside that reminded me of my mother. That, you know, through all the abuse, all the, you know, just lack of support and lack of a network and just no opportunities. And it reminded me of her so much that I just couldn't stand to see it, right? Like I'm one of those people where I'm just like, oh, I just gotta do something. I can't let this system continue to happen. All right, so Dawood and Jerry, really excited. We're on our way to the Fair Transfer Housing Rally. There's some main points I just wanted to go over with you all to discuss, you know, all the different aspects of the bill. We gotta focus on your testimony. All right, are you excited to go back through it? All right, good to go. You got it all printed out and ready? Most people don't realize in New York State, this is only in New York State, there is 6,958,700 people that have an arrest or a conviction record. That ain't right. That is 45% of New York State. That means 45% of New York State right now is having trouble finding housing. They're being discriminated against because they have a criminal record. Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight!
Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight!
When a city like New York looks at lowering the jail population, closing Rikers Island, we must look at where folks will go and where they will re-enter to. We must increase housing capacity. We must increase programs like emergency housing and transitional housing and supportive housing. Otherwise, we are sort of doomed to repeat the past. Most insidious effects of incarceration is that people are separated from one another, right? And in that separation, fear can fester. So when something that has been hidden away from you is suddenly in your backyard, I think sometimes the first reaction is fear. But really, as we've seen community members interact together, spend more time with one another, we've begun to see that shift. And I think that is what needs to happen more and more. Folks need to actually see one another, get to know one another, understand one another's stories.
It gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of being, of that you can get through this. Yeah, you lost everything. Yeah, you messed up. Yeah, this and that. But someone is saying, okay, I'm gonna let you try again.